Hey guys, welcome to our channel Coders Arcade. We know that Vishweshwara Technological University or VTU in short has the subject C programming for problem solving in the first year's curriculum for engineering students. Therefore, we are starting a new playlist on the same subject, so we will be covering all the 5 modules and this video will be related to module 1. Now, we also have a dedicated playlist on the 5th semester's subject application development using Python, which has received much praise, attention, and feedback from our viewers and subscribers. So, we are pretty sure that this playlist is also going to help the students to clarify the doubts and secure good marks in the semester examination and also help them to understand various complex programs which will help them to crack interviews also. Therefore, without any further ado, let's start with Module 1 and all the best from our entire Coders Arcade team. We will be starting with basic C programming and eventually we'll be moving on to the complex programs in C programming. So here is a brief history about C. C is a general purpose programming language. It has been closely associated with the Unix system where it was developed, since both the system and most of the programs that run on it are written in C. C is generally called a system programming language because it is useful for writing compilers and operating systems. It has been used equally well to write major programs in many different domains. Many of the important ideas of C stem from the language BCPL, developed by Martin Richards. The influence of BCPL on the C proceeded indirectly through the language B, which was written by Ken Thompson in 1970 for the first Unix system on the DEC PDP-7. DEC PDP-7 was a mini computer produced by Digital Equipment Corporation as part of the PDP series introduced in 1964. BCPL and B are typeless language. By contrast, C provides a variety of data types. The fundamental data types are characters, integers, and floating point numbers of several sizes. In addition, there is a hierarchy of derived data types created with pointers, arrays, structures, and unions. C provides the fundamental control flow constructions required for well-structured programs, statement grouping, decision making such as if-else statements, selecting one of the set of possible cases which are the switch case statements, looping with the termination test at the top which are the while and the for loops, or at the bottom which are the do statements, and early loop exits like the break statements. Now let's move on to the advantages of C. Almost all popular languages are built on top of the C language, like Python, Java, Ruby, JavaScript, and C Sharp. All these languages are C-level languages. It means their languages, their libraries are written in C code, which then translates to higher level language, which is then called JavaScript or Java. Secondly, it's the coding language of choice for kernel development. A kernel is the central part of an operating system. It manages the operations of the computer and the hardware, most notably memory and the CPU time. So if we need something that needs to be fast like operating system, or something that needs to have very close access to hardware on your machine, C is the first language that we choose for this purpose. Ultimately, C is used most often in kernel development. Third advantage is C has been around for almost 30 years. C is used in many embedded systems and many high-level languages. High-level languages are built on top of C, so there's always gonna be some knowledge of C that you are going to need as a programmer. Fourth point is, writing code in C tells you how a computer really works, so you will understand about memory management and allocation. Last but not the least, still there are high demands for jobs in C. C programming is portable. It's ideal for applications which requires high performance and low memory overhead because of its relatively small library. That's why there is a demand of jobs in C and it's going to exist in future. Now that you know about the history and how C works, let's move on to our main topics and know more about C programming in detail. So let's begin. In this video, before we get into our main course, I will show you a basic C program so that you will get an idea of how the C program is written. So let's begin. So this is the basic program that I have written for you guys so that you can understand before going into a main course that how C program works. Here, as you can see, I have written first line, main, and then empty parenthesis. So this main you are seeing here, this main is a special function which marks the beginning of the program, which tells the compiler that this is the start of the program. So now every program must have at least one main function in it. But note that if you use more than one main function inside your program, then compiler will get confused which one is the start of the program. So don't use more than one main function in your program. Now, after this, after the main function, you can see this. This empty parenthesis tells us that the main function doesn't have any arguments or any parameters in it. Now, on the second line, as you can see, I have written this curly braces. This opening curly braces tells the compiler that this is the start of this main function. So this is the start of the main function, and this is the closing curly braces that marks that this is the end of the function. But in this case, this curly braces marks the end of the program because we have not written anything after it. Now, this opening and closing curly braces marks the function body. Now inside this curly braces, whatever we write becomes the function body. So this is the main function, this is a function main, and this is the function body. And as you can see here that inside this function body we have three statements written. So these statements are called the instructions of the function body, which are used to perform a certain given task. So on my first statement, as you can see, this is called the comment line. So as you can see, the comment line starts with the forward slash and star. So whatever you write inside the forward slash and star, and then ending with star and forward slash, whatever you write inside this will become a comment. So comment is a non-executable statement. So whatever you write inside this will become a comment so that any other user or any other programmer, they will get to know what is the use of this particular function body, what is the use of this main function. These comments are non-executable, therefore these lines are ignored by the compiler. Now let's move on to the printf function. So this printf function is a predefined standard function which is used for printing output. So this is our output. As you can see, hello world will be our output. Now predefined means this printf was written and compiled and is linked to our program at the time of linking. Now note that this printf function is ending with the semicolon. So this semicolon is very important. Whenever we end our statement in C, we write a semicolon at the end of it. This is also a comment and this is also a comment, and this is our printf statement, which is the only executable statement in our program. So now when I run it, you can see hello world has been printed. This hello world. So this is all about the sample program that I wanted to tell you before getting into our course. Hey guys, we saw a basic C program so that you could understand the working of programs in C. Now here in this video, we will talk about a first topic, which is the basic structure of C program. So here it is. On the left part of the screen, you can see this is the basic structure of C program, and on the right hand side of the screen, this is the program that I have written to make you understand which part of this program comes in which section of this basic structure of C. So here comes the first section, which is the documentation section. In this documentation section, we write set of comments which tells about the program. Basically, documentation section is the description of the program. So here, this first line, sample program created by Coders Arcade, is the documentation section of this particular program. Now let's move on to the next section, which is the link section. The link section contains the links of the system libraries which are used inside a program. So we have written here hash include stdio.h and hash include conio.h. These two, stdio.h and conio.h, are the system libraries of C which we are going to use inside a program. So we need to include those libraries. So I have written hash include stdio.h and hash include conio.h. Then comes the definition section. So this definition section contains all the symbolic constants. So this is our definition section here in this program. So these symbolic constants refers to those constants whose values cannot be changed, whose values are permanent and cannot be changed again in the program. Then comes the global declaration section. This global declaration section contains the variables that we are going to use in different part of the program. We declare those variables once and then we can use them any number of times whenever we want in a particular function. So as you can see here, I have declared int a equals to 10. Here a is the global variable which has the value 10 in it, and we are using this particular a variable inside our main function, and again we are using inside our void function. So we are using this variable two times. That is why we have declared it inside the global declaration section. So this variable can be used any number of times inside a program. We need to declare it just once here in the global declaration section. Then comes the main function section. As I told you before in our video, that we need to have at least one main function inside a program. So this is the main function. So this main function tells our compiler that this is the start of our main function. Now this main function consists of two parts, which is the declaration part and the executable part. So as you can see, I have declared one b variable which has 20 value in it. So this is the declaration part. This is the local declaration part. So why it is local? Because I have declared it inside the main function, and now this variable can only be used by our main function only. We cannot use this b inside our void fun function because it is not globally defined here. If we need to use this b variable, then we need to declare it inside the global declaration section. Just because we have declared it inside the main function, now it is a local variable and which is local to only this function. So this is the declaration part of this main function. Then comes the executable part of the main function. So from this clear screen to this func, this is called the executable part. Whatever we write inside the executable part will be executed and then it will give us the output. So this is the declaration part and this is the executable part of the main function. Now comes the subprogram section, which contains the n number of user defined functions. So this, as you can see, void fun, this comes under the subprogram section. Here after this main function, we can define any number of functions which will come under the subprogram section of the program. So this is the subprogram section where you can define any number of functions. So this is all about the basic structure of C. On the left hand side, as you can see, this is the basic structure of C. So the documentation section, which contains the comment, the link section, which contains all the libraries which we are going to use inside a program. Then comes the definition section. This definition section contains the values which cannot be changed further in our program. Then comes the global declaration section, where we declare those variables which will be used in different part of our program repeatedly. And then we come into the main section function. As I told you before, we need at least one main function section. So this is our main function section here, and then comes the subprogram section, which can contain n number of user defined functions. Hey guys, so in this video we will be talking about our next topic, which is executing a program. I'll tell you step by step how the C program is executed. So, executing a program written in C involves a series of steps which includes creating the program, compiling the program, linking the program with the functions that are needed from the C library, and then finally executing the program. So I'll illustrate the process of creating, compiling and executing a C program through a help of flowchart. So first our system gets ready and then I'll enter a program through my program which I have, and then I'll check from my end if there is any error in the program. After that, I'll be compiling my program through the C compiler, and then the compiler will check for any syntax error. If there are any syntax error, I'll be going back to my edit source program block where I'll be checking again if there is any error inside my program or not. Then if there are no errors, then the compiler will link the system libraries to the program through the link section, and then I'll be executing my code. So while executing my code, my program will prompt me to input the data, and then it will check for logical and data errors. If there is any logical error, I'll be prompted to go back to my edit source program block, and then again I'll be checking if there is any errors or not. If there is no logical error but there is a data error, then I'll be prompted again to input the data and then check again if there is any logical or data errors or not. If there are no errors, then the correct output will be printed and then the program will stop or terminated. So this is how the program is executed in the C. Hey guys, so in this video we will be talking about our next topic, which is constants. So constants in C refers to the fixed values that does not change during the execution of a program. C supports several types of constants such as numeric constants and character constants. Again, numeric constant consists of two more constants, which are integer constants and the real constants. In a similar way, character constants also have two more constants, which are single character constants and the string constants. So let us talk about our first constant, which is the integer constant. So the integer constant refers to the sequence of digits. Now there are three types of integers, namely decimal integer, octal integer and hexadecimal integer. So in the decimal integer consists of digits from 0 to 9 proceeding by the optional minus or plus sign. Let us see the examples for the decimal integer constants, which are, let's say, 1 2 3 minus 3 2 1 0 6 5 4 3 2 1 and plus 78. These are all the decimal integer constants example. Now if we talk about the octal integer constants, then these constants consist of any combination of digits from 0 to 7 with the leading of 0. Example 037 0 0435 0551. So from starting 0, we can write any number inside the limit 0 to 7. Similarly, a sequence of digits preceded by 0x or 0 capital X is considered as hexadecimal integer. There may also include alphabet A through F or small a through small f. The letter A through F represents the number 10 through 15. So following are the examples for the valid hex integers. So let's say 0x2, 0x9f, 0xbcd or 0x. So these are the hexadecimal integers. Now let's move on to the real constants, which is the second variety of numerical constants. So integer numbers are adequated to represent quantities that vary continuously, such as distance, height, temperature, price, and so on. So these quantities are represented by the number containing fractional part like 17.548. Such numbers are called real or floating point constants. Let's see an example of those. So like 0.0083 or minus 0.75 or 435.36 or plus 247.0. So these are all the real constants. Now let's move on to the single character constant. So a single character constant, or simply a character constant, contains a single character closed within a pair of single quote marks. So when you write a single character or single integer inside a quotes, it will be recognized as a single character constant. Now let's move on to the string constant. So a string constant is a sequence of characters included in a double quotes. So the characters may be letters, numbers, special characters, and a blank space. Like in double quotes, if we write hello, or in double quotes, if you give an integer value as well, it will be recognized as a string constant inside the quotes. So you can write under double quotes 1987, or you can write well done, or you can give any symbol like question mark, full stop, or an exclamation mark, or you can give 5 plus 3 or anything you want. Also, one more thing that I wanted to tell you are the backslash character constant that C supports. So the C supports some special backslash character constants that can be used in output functions. So these are some of the backslash character constants. As you can see here, backslash A, which means audible alert, backslash B, which means backspace, backslash F, which means form feed, backslash N, which means new line, backslash R, which means carriage return, backslash T, which means horizontal tab, and then backslash V, which means vertical tab, and so on. There are many more backslash character constants. So this is all about the constants in C. So our next topic is variables. So a variable is a data name that may be used to store a data value, unlike constant that remains unchanged during the execution of a program. A variable may take different values at different times during execution. So a variable name can be chosen by a programmer in a meaningful way so that it reflects the function or nature in the program. Some examples of such names are like average, height, total, counter 1, class, strength. And as I mentioned earlier, variable names may be consist of letters, digits, and the underscore characters subject to the following conditions. First condition is they must begin with a letter. Some system permits underscore as the first characters, but usually we should begin our variable name with a letter. Second point is ANSI standard recognizes a length of 31 characters. However, length should not be normally more than 8 characters, since only the first 8 characters are treated as significant by many compilers. So usually in this case, we should use only maximum of 8 characters while defining a variable. Third point is that C is a case sensitive language. So you need to take care about the uppercase and the lowercase letters. So total is not the same as total or the full capital total. Then my fourth point is it should not be a keyword. So keywords such as for, if, printf, these kind of keywords should not be a variable because those are some reserved keywords in C. Then fifth, white spaces are not allowed. So you cannot define a variable which has a white space in between. So some examples of valid variable names are John, Delhi, Mark, value, x1, someone, t-raise, ph value, distance. So you saw here that in t-raise I have given an underscore instead of white space. If I had to give a white space in between, then it would be an illegal variable. So instead of white space, I've used underscore. So finally, how to declare a variable? So to declare a variable, you need to write the variable name. Then to give this variable a value, we write equals, and then we write the data that needs to be transferred into it. So if I write an integer a, then I need to define the data type, which is int for the integer value, as it contains the integer value inside it. So About this int, it comes into a data type that I'll be discussing about in the next topic. So this is how a variable is declared in C. Now, our next topic is data types in C. So data type specifies how we enter the data into a program and what type of data we enter. C language has some predefined set of data types to handle various kinds of data that we can use in our program. So these data types have different storage capacities. Basically, C supports two types of data types, which are the primary data types and the derived data types. In the primary data types, these are the fundamental data types, namely integer, floating point, character, and void. And the derived data types, in derived data types are just the primary data types, but with a little twist or group togethers like arrays, structures, union, and pointers. So data type determines the type of data a variable will hold. If a variable x is declared as int, that means x can only hold the integer value. Every variable which is used in the program must be declared as what data type it is. So let's look on the different types of data types. So first one is the integer data types. So basically integers are used to store whole numbers. The next is the floating point. Floating point are the decimal point numbers, and the character types are used to store the character values. And void type. Void typically means no value. So this is usually used to specify the type of function which returns nothing.
Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Coders Arcade. We will be talking about managing input and output operations in C. Before starting our video, I would like to request you to please like our videos and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you receive a notification of our latest videos. So let's start. So, reading, processing, and writing of data are the three essential functions of a computer program. So, most programs take some data as input and display the processed data, often known as information or results, on a suitable medium. In our earlier videos, we have discussed two methods of providing data to the program variables. One method is to assign values to variables through the assignment statements such as x equal to 5, a equal to 0 and so on. We have another method which is to use the input function scanf, which can read data from a keyboard. We have used both these methods in our earlier videos. And for getting the results as outputs, we have used extensively the function printf, which sends results out to a terminal. Unlike other high-level languages, C does not have any built-in input-output statements as part of its syntax. All input-output operations are carried out through function calls such as printf and scanf. There exist several functions that have more or less become standard for input and output operations in C. These functions are collectively known as the standard input-output library. So here we will be discussing more about some common input-output functions that can be used in our C programs. There are many examples like math.h, ctype.h, etc. So these have to be included in our header files so that we can use the libraries inside them or use the features inside them. So as I told you about the standard input output header file which is stdio.h, I will tell you more about this thing now. The file name stdio.h is an abbreviation for standard input output header file. The instruction hash include stdio.h tells the compiler to search for a file named stdio.h and place its contents at this point in the program. The contents of the header file become part of the source code when it is compiled. So as we learned, we can use the scanf function to take an input from the user and we can output the results into a terminal with the help of the printf function. We have some other functions with the help of which we can also do this. So let us see how to read a character with the help of the function which is called getChar. So the syntax for the getChar function is variable name is equal to getChar. So whenever this getChar function is encountered, the computer waits until a key is pressed and then assigns this character as a value to the getChar function. Since the getChar is used on the right hand side of an assignment statement, the character value of getChar is in turn assigned to the variable name on the left. For example, char name and then name equal to getChar. It means that getChar takes the character from the keyboard and then it assigns this character to the name variable, which here you can see it has been set to the character data type. The name variable is of the character data type. So getChar reads a character from the keyboard and then it assigns that character to the name variable. So this is the use of the getChar function. Now let me show you an example or a sample program where you will see the use of getChar function in an interactive environment. Here, this is my editor screen and I have already written down a program for you. You can see that I have included the header file which is include standard input output library. So to write that hash include stdioh is used. Then this is my main function and here you can see this is a variable which is of the character data type. The variable name is answer and it is of the character data type. Then I am using the printf function and I'm asking the user, do you want to know my name? And this /n characters are the escape characters which will take the control to the next line. I have used two /n's, so it means it will take the control to the two lines after this line. Then I have used the printf statement again and here you can see I have written enter y for yes or n for no. Then you can see the use of the getChar function here. What it does is I have done answer equal to getChar. So this getChar will wait for the input of a character from the keyboard and it will then assign that character to the answer variable which is of the character data type. Then finally I am using the if else statement. So I am trying to check if the character input by the user is capital Y. And here you can see I have used the pipe symbol which is also the OR. And then what will happen is I am trying for capital Y or small y. So in both the cases I will be getting the same result because the user may provide a capital Y or else a small y. So I don't want to get confused. So what I have done is I am taking capital Y and small y with the help of this OR operator. Then if the character input is capital Y or small y, I am printing my name is Mr. Bean. Or else if it is no or if the input from the user is n or any other character, then it will be printing this statement which is you are good for nothing. This is a basic example. I will show you by running it the output so that you can analyze what is actually happening with the program. So for that, let me run it. So this is the command prompt for you. Here it's asking me, I will just zoom it for you. Okay, now you can see it's asking me, do you want to know my name? It says enter Y for yes or N for no. I will show you both the outputs. First I will give Y and then I will press enter. You can see my name is Mr. Bean. So in case capital Y or small y, it is giving me the proper answer which is my name is Mr. Bean. Then I will press enter. Again I will run it for you. And this case I will again zoom it for you. And here I will give capital Y now and press enter. You can again see the answer is the same. My name is Mr. Bean. Then I will press enter again and I will run it once again for you. This time I will show you the opposite or the else block print statement. Here I will press N and press enter. Now you can see the output says you are good for nothing. So this is how it works. What happens is I will press the enter key and you can see as soon as it encounters this answer equal to get character, it will read a character from the keyboard, which will be provided by the user. I will run it again. You can see after these two print statements, I will zoom it again. You can see after these two print statements are executed, then it's waiting for the character to be provided by the user. So this is the use of the get character. Now if I provide any keyboard character, say 0 also, and press enter, then it will say you are good for nothing because it goes into the else block. I'll press enter and you can see it says you are good for nothing. So this is how the get character works. I'll press enter. So this is a basic example where you can read a character from the user with the help of the keyboard. Now let me show you one more program where you will learn how to read a character from the user and at the same time how to check whether the character provided by us is a digit or an alphabet. So in this case, we will be using the built-in keywords is alpha, is digit, so that we can check whether our character provided by us is an alphabet or a digit. So I have the program for you. I will just show it to you. So as you can see, here is the program to check whether a character is an alphabet or a number or a digit. So here you can see the change. This is alpha, is digit are the keywords that I have used here. You can see is alpha, is digit have been used. So to use this, what you have to do is you have to use another library, or you have to use another library where you will be getting all this is digit, is alpha features. So this is the library which I have used here, hash include ctype.h. If you use this library, you will be getting all these features, is alpha, is digit, and so on. There are many more, but I am only using these two features or methods. Now you can see the whole program. I will explain it line by line. Here you can see I have used the character variable, which is the character data type. Then I'm printing press any key, and followed by I'm using character equal to get char. Then here it will wait for the input from the user, and finally here you can see it will check if is alpha character greater than 0. What this greater than 0 means that if this character that is passed by us is an alphabet, then this greater than 0 means that it will be true. So this will be a character which is an alphabet. So this greater than 0 means it is true, otherwise by default it will be set to false. And it will go into the else statement. So here if we provide an alphabet, then it will print character is a letter. Otherwise it will go into the else block, and you can see I have used again an if and else statement inside this else, which is called the nested conditional statement. We will be talking about this more in the future videos. For the time being, just try to understand the logic behind the program. And as I said, if this condition is not true, then it will go into the else block, and here it will be checking is digit. And then here again the same thing occurs. If it is greater than 0 means it's true, so that the character entered by the user is a digit, then it will print character is a digit, or else it will print character is not alphanumeric. It means that the character is neither an alphabet nor a digit. So this is the basic program, and I will run it for you so that you can understand what is actually happening. Let me run it. You can see it is prompting me by telling press any key. I will just zoom it for you. And now I will provide a key, say 7, and then I will press enter. You can see it says character is a digit. So I'll press enter, and I will show you the other part of the output. I will run it again. and let me zoom it for you. Here if I press A and press enter, you can see it says character is a letter. And let me show you the third part of the output, which is if we enter any character which is neither an alphabet or a digit, then it will say the character is not alphanumeric. Let me do it for you. I'll press enter, then I will run it again. The shortcut for this is F9, and then I will just zoom it. Then here I will just give any character, say start, and press enter. Now you can see it says character is not alphanumeric. I'll press enter. So this is a basic C program where you can use the getChar method and also this isDigit and isAlpha methods, with the help of which you can take an input character from the user and check whether it is an alphabet or a digit or not. So now let us move on to the next topic, which is writing a character. So like getChar, there is an analogous function putChar for writing characters one at a time to the terminal. It takes the form as shown below. PutChar, then in brackets variable name, where variable name is a type character variable containing a character. This statement displays the character contained in the variable name at the terminal. For example, the statement answer equal to y in quotes, then putChar answer will display the character y on the screen. And the statement putChar and in brackets /n would cause the cursor on the screen to move to the beginning of the next line. So this is the use of the putChar function, with the help of which we can write a character. So now I will show you an example of using the putChar function. So this program will read a character from the keyboard and then print it in reverse case. Suppose if the input is in uppercase, it will give the output in the lower case, and if it is in lowercase, it will be giving the output in lowercase. What it will do is, if the input is uppercase, the output will be lowercase, and if the input is lowercase, the output will be uppercase. So let's check the program. Here you can see this is the program. Here also you can see, just because we are using this is lower, to upper, and these two lower functions, we have to use this ctype.h header file. So let me explain you the logic behind this program. Here we have this variable alphabet, which is of the character data type. Then I am using the printf function to print enter an alphabet. Then what I am doing is I am using the putChar function, which is actually for writing a character. In this case, what it will do is it is taking the /n inside the quotes. So this thing will give the control to the next line. You can see here I have written the comment, move to the next line. So as soon as this putChar function is utilized, it will give the control to the next line. Then what I am doing is I am using the getChar function and taking a input from the user with the help of the keyboard, and this input will be assigned to the alphabet variable. And then I am checking with the if else statement. If is lower alphabet, this is lower is a built-in method. It will check if the character in the alphabet is lower, then it will provide the uppercase with the help of this statement. You can see putChar to upper alphabet. So it will convert the lowercase to uppercase. And if it is lowercase, then it will go on to the else statement. And if it is not lowercase and it is uppercase, then it will go on to the else statement and it will convert it to lowercase with the help of this putChar function, where I have used two lower, then in brackets alphabet. You have to follow the syntax of writing all this. We will be discussing more and more about all these programs in our future videos. So this is how we can read a character and we can convert it from uppercase to lowercase and vice versa. So let me run it for you so that you can understand. I will run it. And here you can see, I will just zoom it for you. It's asking me enter an alphabet. So here I will give a small a and press enter, and you can see it's converting it to capital A. So this is small a. So here this is lower thing is true and it is converting it to a uppercase, that is capital A. Now I will show you the other way around. I will run it again, and let me zoom it, and here I will give capital A and press enter, and you can see it converts it to lowercase, that is small a. So this is about this code. So this is about this code where you can read a character from the user and convert it to a uppercase or lowercase depending on the type of input given by the user, with the help of using this bootcamp function followed by this two upper or two lower, and you have to check it using the is lower method.
So this is all about this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you like the video, and if you like it, then tell us in the comment section below. If you have any doubts, then post them in the comment section. I will definitely try to clear those doubts. Also, like, share and subscribe to our channel Coders Arcade and press the bell icon so that you will get a notification when we post our new video. Thank you. Happy learning.